What is up, everybody? This is Alex from IHE TV. Today I'm talking about The Twats, the latest Roald Dahl animated adaptation that completely misunderstands the entire point of the source material and makes an abomination, an atrocious, horrendous abomination that is more about American politics and the importance of family than it is anything to do with what the original children's book was trying to say, and I'm not exaggerating. Also mix in a bunch of straight up inappropriate, borderline fetish content for children. So I grew up with this book. I always liked reading it, especially like the art from Quentin Blake. A quote I think about now and again is this one, which is kind of what the story's about. If a person has ugly thoughts, it begins to show on the face. And when that person has ugly thoughts every day, every week, every year, the face gets uglier and uglier until it gets so ugly you can hardly bear to look at it. A person who has good thoughts cannot ever be ugly. You can have a wonky nose and a crooked mouth and a double chin and stick out teeth, but if you have good thoughts, they will shine out of your face like sunbeams and you'll always look lovely. It's not complicated. It's a children's book. It's pretty short. It's mostly about these monkeys that they have like trapped and are forced to stand on their heads. I don't know how they managed to make such a long film out of this. I don't know why the approach to adapting these Roald Dahl books often is so awful. I guess they don't lend themselves to these traditional film narratives that well. You have to be literally like a Wes Anderson to be able to pull it off and capture the spirit and the energy and be able to adapt it into a different medium in a way that doesn't feel insulting. Like, I haven't seen James and the Giant Peach in forever, but at least that was like an hour 19, probably shorter when you actually watch it. It's not an insurmountable task. It's just the crews they choose, the people they choose to adapt the story and then just shit it out onto Netflix. It's just like, what are you doing? Why have you done this? So yeah, a very, very loose adaptation of the original book, directed by this trilogy, who Phil Johnston, you might know, as the director of Ralph Breaks the Internet, Oscar nominated, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah, Oscar. This film is like atrocious too, but that's who helmed this and co-wrote it. I think the other two are first-time directors. Luckily, there are loads of images to illustrate what I'm talking about. The story is positioned that the like narrator of it are fleas in Mr. Twit's beard. Kind of like that episode of South Park with the lice. Imagine that as the framing device for the film. This kid is getting a story read to him by his mama, who happens to be voiced by Emilia Clarke. A weirdly expensive cast, actually, for how kind of budget and rushed together this feels. Character actor Margot Martindale as Mrs. Twit, Johnny Vegas as Mr. Twit, Alan Tudyk in there, Natalie Portman. It's just like, where they'd put these resources and the money is like so... Because it's like shit out onto Netflix, there's no way to find out how much they spent on this. I'd really like to know. Let me double check. Yeah, there's nothing obvious about how much they spent on it. Not that much, if I had to guess. Most of the film are in the same locations, like 3 locations. There's some okay like texture work, I guess, and animation in there in part, but it's mostly the art direction, the writing. I wouldn't blame the animators for this, and the animation studio that put this together actually was shut down, so they're all gone now. If we're talking about character design, pretty disgusting to look at, and not in a way where the main characters, the twits, the titular characters, are supposed to be kind of grotesque, but then outside of that you have the cute little monkeys. But here everything's just kind of ugly and gross to look at. Just a nasty looking film. Just kind of a nasty film actually, which maybe I can talk about some of the things that I alluded to being actually inappropriate for its target audience of little babies. So this is a screenshot from the scene where the twits lick a toad and get high, and for some reason this toad is included as a narrative device to make whoever licks it be the inverse of their personalities. So this is for a funny, hilarious scene where they lick the toad and become nice people briefly. So that's a good inclusion. When I say mean-spirited, the way they treat this character is just, it's trying to be funny and self-deprecating, but it's like, why are you meaner to this guy than the main antagonist that the story is supposed to be about? It's not complicated. The guff they fill it with. What else is here? Yeah, this is a real frame. This is from one of the many political jokes in the film, where the Twits, they're running this theme park called Twitlandia. Plug in Martin Scorsese, every film has to be like a fucking amusement park ride, and that's exemplified in this movie. They turned the Twits into this musical / amusement park ride abomination. But yeah, they run a political campaign to become mayor of the town they live in. And this guy is their political rival, who they, I guess, poison with this cake that makes his ass inflate to an enormous size and then explode, instilling all three kids that have seen this with a unfortunate new fetish for them. It's a nice one, guys. It's like a half-assed musical at points. There's like a song at the beginning, and then about 49 minutes later they remember, oh yeah, like this is a partial musical, I guess. There are like 3 or 4 songs, and then to my absolute bemusement, they have my legend, my idol, David Byrne, singing a song in the end credits. Like, what? How much did they spend on this? Why are they funneling all this money in the wrong place, in the wrong directions? Going back to the cast, the delivery of these lines that are already bad lines, so you can't blame them too much, but everything is so over the top, screaming every line. It makes everyone annoying, let alone when I mention these orphan characters who are now the main characters of this story. Every time these orphans are on screen are just so like, God, so boring. When they start trying to make parallels about this idea of, man, the twits, they've got a deep reason for why they're twits, and we need to forgive them for that, because they are orphans too, and we need to think about why people become twits. When it's more like a fable framing in the book, it's not literal anthropomorphized monkeys dealing with these caricature evil villains. That in the book, they get revenge by doing to the twits what the twits did to the monkeys. This kind of creepy dark ending where they're tricked to stand on their heads. They like die. They like collapse into themselves in this kind of like body horror full circle moment, which they reference in this movie, even showing it in like excruciating detail, down to like bone-breaking sounds and disturbing visuals. I wonder if they've got a picture of it. Yeah, so it's from this scene where they show it. But the moral of the story is the orphans gluing them to the floor is bad and not a very empathetic thing to do. So they go and free them so they can talk to the monkeys. I actually said, like, saying this out loud makes me sound fucking insane. You can only understand the monkeys if you have empathy, is a rule they establish. So they can't understand the monkeys after the twits are being tortured, which they kind of deserve because they're like evil scum. So then the orphans go and free them from their glue trap, which then results in the twits angrily just like trying to kill them again. But the orphans just kind of run away with an after credits gag, which is referenced on the poster, where they get like stuck to these balloons that fly them to an island with a giant frog, and then they get vored. They get vored to death, which is the actual conclusion of their characters. Just kill them, for fuck's sake. It's such a dark, freaky ending. And in this Resident Evil-ass world they've set up, they can't even commit to this scary framing. Of course, it wouldn't be a bad animated film without diarrhea jokes, lots of burping and gross out stuff, eating bowls of worms and then spitting the worms from one and another's mouths again and again and again, with it getting funnier each and every time. Ah, look, there's one of the fleas. That's from the after credits stinger, where they have to show the fleas escaping the twits, because it would be, I guess, unempathetic to see the fleas get vored by the giant frog. I sound insane. Just look at this shit. I know I already showed this frame, but like, just to reiterate, look at this. Why do they let this happen? Why did they make this, let alone release this? For children. This isn't like a pearl clutchy thing, like, don't let your children watch this for the love of God. Also, cancel your Netflix subscription if this is the shit they'd be releasing. Yeah, they had to make the, what are they called? Mugwumps. What are they called? Yeah, Mugglewumps. They made the Mugglewumps these, like, Labubus that spray glitter everywhere and squirt dibbies out their mouths that jump around and scream and are manic, and it's all crazy. Natalie Portman voices one of them. And it has to have these elaborate action scenes where like twits have a Rube Goldberg machine Wallace and Gromit bed that like flies around the house in this giant haunted mansion thing. So they can have like these chase scenes and big action spectacle, and it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you doing this? The Natalie Portman Labubu sings a song about how it's better to live in a dreamland because you're always safe in your dreams, which A, isn't true, and B, I don't know about that as a message, but I've definitely put more thought into what this film was trying to say than the actual people making it, which is kind of crazy. This is like a legendarily bad adaptation of something so simple. You've done it again, America. Keep your American politics out of my whimsical children's books, man. What the fuck? They have this stylistic thing they do where they kind of lock the camera to these intense perspective shots for these chase scenes. It's like Crank or something. This is a good shot. Probably creating another fetish for some poor kid out there. And if this shot can get worse, it is after a frog-licking joke where the guy who runs the orphanage suddenly gets a burst of confidence because it's turned him from his pathetic pushover self into a confident cheese squirter. It's nice when the Labubus teach the orphan children to say out loud that they deserve to be loved and the real meaning of family. It's all insincere, and I don't even know if kids would really like it outside of the obvious key jangly colors and movement. I don't really think this is the story to explore the dark backstory of the twits and explain why you need to have empathy towards them. Well, this was a good Lady and the Tramp parody. Right before they start. No, that is as they are squirting worms into each other's mouths. Like ping pong. And the actual way they conclude the story with these Labubus who have tears that can power the theme park. That's why they had to keep them upside down. Because they cry and they can convert the tears into energy. And the script thinks it's hilarious at the end for the Emilia Clarke flea to explain that the Labubus sold their tears to a multinational corporation who then used this new source of energy to buy the orphanage or something insane. This is an insane film. So all I can really say is sorry to every child that has wound up seeing this. I think this would be a good film to use as an experimental child torture device to see how demented you can make a developing brain. This is shockingly bad. I actually couldn't believe how atrocious and boring and inappropriate it is for its target audience. This could have been like an innocent half an hour short, like that Henry Sugar thing is like 40 minutes or something. That's like perfect for these styles of stories. Because this way of adapting it is not only insulting to the source material, but just like questionable from every single angle. The message of the film is to like not hate things, because hate is easy, but like it is easy as fuck to hate this film. It's about as criminal as a film can be without breaking the law. So this was an easy half star for me. Fuck this film. Oh look, they stole my opening. They are the twats. They're not the twits, they're the twats. Let me know if you've seen the twits. I know you haven't. Please don't. I'll leave it at that, and I'll see you on the next video. This is like ruined my day, this shit. I'll see you on the next video.